Hello. Welcome to our podcast. We've got Divya.
Hello.
Sana.
Hi.
Jenny.
Hello.
Shreya.
Hi.
And me, Amrita. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to episode... What episode are we doing?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back to the Penn Pod.
We just wanted to thank you all so much for your support. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to our discussions.
We hope you enjoyed our last episode.
This week, we're going to be talking about something that has been on our minds and in our lives for a while now. The pandemic. Boo!
Boo.
You booing.
But since we've done a lot of growing and adjusting during this difficult year and a half, we thought it would be interesting to reflect back on how we dealt with it all, considering how much it has really affected our lives. So maybe let's start talking about school.
That's something that has been really, really fun the past year.
Zoom University, guys.
Oh my god.
We all basically went to the same school, same college.
First time in the history of our friendship, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're all
Okay,
at the
Falls,
same
all of you
school.
guys went to middle school together.
No, but I mean all five of us.
This is the first time I was there. in the
Yeah.
same school.
Divya just
Like,
like
also,
ostracizing
all of
herself.
Yeah, including you.
No, yeah, and all of us went to, like, even Isha is now in the same school as all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every student across the country. We're all taking
We're
Zoom
all in this
University.
together.
All in this together.
That was all we were like,
What am I
Song
starting?
episode?
oh my
No,
god.
I feel like
Okay.
school was the first thing that we that first changed for us when everything was happening. So it felt kind of surreal because I mean, like, maybe a couple of us have taken a couple of online classes before, but having our entire school move online. And then I remember I was on, I think a couple of us were on spring break the week before. I know I was. And then I was back at school for I think like 4 days, and then we literally got the
No, yeah, what ended up happening was me, Sahana, and Shreya had spring
Yeah.
break. And then the next week was Divya was still in high school. And so we met up that weekend. That was the last time we had a
Yes,
sleepover
day
too.
of
That
our
was the
lives.
best weekend.
it
We
was
met
so
up
fun.
and then we all went back and we're like, okay, we're moving back after spring break. We had to bring all these things. And then it was Wednesday. I remember Shreya and I
Yes.
were at a meeting.
Yeah.
And we got the email and I was so upset because I'm like, I just came back. We just came back and
Yeah.
now we have to go back home. And they're like, it's fine. We'll come back soon.
And
Like,
then
We
I
were
said
like,
it was
it's
for,
just 2 weeks.
yeah,
It's
they
just
said
2
it was for 2 weeks, and then literally the next week is when they said the rest of the semester was going to be online, and that's I think when it settled in for like all of us that this
Yeah.
was a real thing. Because I remember even the weekend that we met up during the end of spring break, even that weekend, like when we were all together, I remember my parents being like, "Oh, be cognizant, make sure you're like." Because this is happening, make sure you're even more aware of like germs and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm always careful, so it'll be fine. And then the fact that it happened so fast after that, it was so weird.
It was the 13th. It was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
When
It
That's where it all went bad.
Right.
I mean, not that
Everything
exact
went
day,
wrong.
because things were bad before then, but
No, but yeah.
But that's when it got bad for us. That was like our last real day of school.
it was weird for me because you guys helped me. So spring break, I decided that I was gonna move a good amount of my stuff back home just to make it easier when I was going to like fully move out. So you guys helped me because
Yeah.
My-
Yeah, I
like-
remember we went
Yeah,
back in my
Sana's
dad's car,
dad.
right?
yeah, so
We
you
were
guys all
all
helped me
stuffed
pack,
in there
like,
with Jen and E's stuff.
yeah, you guys helped me pack like half of my room, and I didn't say bye to any because everyone was over, so I didn't say bye to any of my suite mates because we were all like, yeah, we'll see each other in a week, like we don't need to say bye, like let her have fun with her family friends.
Yeah.
And so we came back, and then during that week that I was on break, they were like, we're extending spring break for another week. And so I was like, all right. But then halfway
for
through
me.
that second week, everyone who had come home that was in the area, we were all like, maybe we should, go and bring more of our stuff back because it doesn't
Yeah.
look like we're actually going to be staying. Because I think I might get my timeline might be a little off, but the chancellor's son, I think, had said like, yeah, I don't think we're going back, guys. Like, And because he was the chancellor's son, everyone was like, oh my god, is this real? Like, there was no confirmation whatsoever. And it's like a 19, 20-year-old being like, we're not going back to campus. But so I moved back more of my stuff, and then like officially gave back my key when I had like my scheduled time to go back in. But yeah, I was home March 8th, and I have not gone back since March 8th of what, 2019? 2020.
2020.
Well, feels like 2 years, you know. It feels like
No, I feel like it didn't sink in at all. Like, okay, I was even convinced that this was all going to be over by the end of last summer. I was like, oh, the heat is going to be something.
Like, there were so many stages to it, right? At first, it was like, okay, like 2 weeks. We have like a longer spring break. For us, our spring break just got moved up earlier at first. And then we were like, okay, by we're definitely gonna have prom, we'll definitely have graduation.
I remember that.
And then those get canceled. And then we're like, okay, but like at least it'll all be over by the time college starts. Like we'll actually be able to go live on campus. And then you like get closer and closer, and it's like, wait a minute, am I even gonna be on campus for college?
Right. I remember coming back on my birthday, on March 19th. I remember coming back. And I was telling my friends, I was like, yeah, we'll see each other. Like, it's okay. It might take some time, but we will see each other. And then I transferred schools. So
literally,
I think Amrita can relate.
I'm in the same boat. I went back to like move out my stuff in like June. Like months later, they had scheduled it. And that's when me and my sweet mate saw each other. And we just stood there in our empty rooms and we're like, literally, this is so sad. No, wait. When I moved out,
did you know yet that you were transferring?
I don't remember. Actually, I don't think so.
I feel like it was later in July or something.
I didn't know. It would have been a lot worse if I had known. I didn't know when I went and moved out.
I thought you found it in like June or something. Like I thought
like the end of June or July.
Didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know if it was confirmed or not.
I found out in May.
I don't remember this. It was both
I
really
think it was probably
around
when
time.
like regular decision came out for
because Sana told us, and I feel like a week or
years.
two after is when you told us.
Yes, you're right.
No, actually, Amrita said it before.
Oh, okay. Then it happened with like.
And then I said it like.
It was within the same couple
Isha
weeks.
told us like we found out where Isha was going. We kind of confirmed where Divya was going, and then.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember.
Yeah.
Shreya and I were just chilling in the background, like.
Yeah, that was. That, like, COVID has been both a curse and a blessing for that, because I have that like basic anxiety of going to a new school that's just been pushed off for over a year now. Like when I thought I was gonna do that, I was like, I just have to wait till August and then I'll go back and I'll be fine. But then now it's like the next August, so it's gonna be over a year by the time I actually go to that school. I spent a whole year at a new school and it doesn't even feel like I was at the new school, which is crazy.
I agree.
But then at the same time, it's been nice because I love procrastinating. This gave me an excuse to procrastinate moving in. I didn't have to make friends for a whole sophomore year, which is again pros and cons. I literally the only person I talked to the entirety of sophomore year was Bob, because we were in Orgo together. We go to the same school now, and we were in organic chemistry together. And now they closed organic chemistry 2 for August, so I don't know if we're gonna take the second one together. And I need that course in order to take the DAT. This is unrelated. This is just normal.
We have many things on our minds.
Flashback to that self-care episode where I was talking about
oh my
went
god,
down that spiral of things that I have to do. I almost went down that again. But
we're also lucky that this happened when we had the technology to deal with it.
Oh, for
because
sure.
Imagine like this happening when we didn't have access to everything that we have access to online, or even being able to do school online in such a smooth, like the transition was so smooth that it didn't feel real, but at the same time that was only possible because we had the technology to do it. And that's also played a part in all of our like social gatherings too. Like we used to have a tradition of having a New Year's party at Jenny's house every single year, and we literally had to do a Zoom call, and I was like I'm so glad that we still get to see each other. But and I baked cookies. I forgot I did that. We safely delivered
remember
cookies.
That I couldn't eat the cookies because I had gotten my wisdom teeth
Yeah.
out. What did they tasted like the one bite that I had with like when I couldn't chew, it tasted like Mysore pak. Was it Mysore pak? What
Yeah,
did
it had
taste
cardamom
like?
in it.
Because
Yeah.
of that, and I was like,
We used-
that's not what
We
I
used
expected.
the
Then-
syrup from Rasgulla as like the substitute for vanilla extract.
That makes a lot of sense
OMG.
now. That makes
It
a lot of
makes
sense.
so much more sense. And I was like,
My
I really want to
gosh.
try this cookie, but I literally cannot bite. So then I had to wait a couple
Yeah.
weeks, and then I
Oh my
finished all the
gosh.
cookies.
They're like Indian sugar cookies.
They were really
But not
good,
just-
actually.
They were
Not
they were
just
good.
New Year's, just like we'd have Thanksgiving together,
Yeah.
Friendsgiving, and
I
we
know
missed
that.
that. And there's just a lot of events that
We
we usually would have
didn't-
had that
Or
we
like
missed.
someone's birthday would come up and
Mhm.
you
Like
could
all of our
spend at
birthdays
least
were
that
in
day.
quarantine because it's been this whole
A
year.
year, yeah.
We're
Yeah.
recreating our tradition this year because we're all vaccinated. I'm so
Hell
excited.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so many things are happening this summer
Mhm.
since we all got vaccinated. Thank God.
I mean,
Which
we
has
didn't
been
even
very nice.
we didn't even get to have our to put in like to give context to what I'm about to say, since most of us have gone off to college in the past couple of years, we have this tradition of whenever we're back in town, we like to just hang out and just catch up on everything because odds are we have a lot to say just about our lives. Even though if we talk like every day, we somehow still have a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we have a tradition of going to Dunkin' and
Yeah.
sitting in like in the
I miss it.
back of Dunkin', like outside, and there's outside outdoor seating, or in like someone's car, like we'll pull down the trunk and like everyone will squeeze in and we'll just love to chat. But that also hasn't happened in a year, and we've had to do like Zoom is our like makeshift Dunkin' experience, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that we have it, but it's also really sad because the vibe of it is a little still a little off.
Yeah. But I mean,
No, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I think part of it was because we didn't actually talk every day. I think COVID kind
Yeah.
of made us closer
That's
because
also true.
those awkward years when like some of us are in college and some of us are still in high school, like you are more different than you realize. Like you still have some things in common, but like you're in very different stages in life.
Like
Yeah,
your
that's
everyday
those
life
couple of
is
years.
very different.
Yeah,
your
and
daily
so like
routine.
doing that kind of helped you like come back. But I feel like this past year we had like study calls like 3 or 4 times a week. Like we
Yeah,
would just all get
yeah.
on the same Zoom call.
That's so
And I feel
cute.
like I was like, oh, we're all in the same place together.
Yeah.
again."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
Like-
definitely something that wouldn't have happened
for sure.
before
Yeah. I also
before COVID.
I'm gonna go.
I was just gonna say, I vividly remember this one day. I took Greek history, fall of 2020. Why I took that class, I don't know.
That's
But
interesting.
that was the craziest course. I did not retain a single thing.
Oh
And
no.
We had to write weekly
That's the
essays
purpose
for
of
that.
school, you know.
We had to write weekly essays. And there's one time where I just like could not write every single Thursday. We didn't have to write all of them. We had to write 10 out of like 15. Every Thursday, I'd be like, okay, this is due tomorrow morning. Can I skip this one? And like Bub and Divya specifically would be like, no, bad idea. Just do the essay so that you don't have to do it later. Literally like clockwork, every single Thursday, I would have the same exact discussion because I just didn't want to do these.
dilemma.
researching stuff. I remember you being like, I have no idea what this event is because I barely remember learning about it in class, and I looked it up, and by the end of it,
You basically wrote that essay for me.
I like knew words and cheated at one point writing because I got so invested halfway through. I was like, this is pretty cool.
Oh my
But
god.
that's just the nerd in me. So
Wow.
that's really
But
fun.
the other thing with having classes online was that it was hard for me to differentiate time that I should make for myself, like my free time hours, and then time I should
Yes.
spend towards
Everything floated like
classes
into each
studying.
other.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I
time just became
when I was
even
in
more fake.
college. Yeah, exactly.
Time's a social construct.
When I was in college, I would have distinct time frames for both, right?
Yeah.
But having everything meshed together, I didn't know how to cope with that, or I didn't know
Oh,
how
definitely.
to deal with it.
I think that was the case for a lot of our parents too, because they would always be talking about it too, like when they're working, and then like even now, after a year, like the timing of when they stop working doesn't exist because they just
Yeah.
keep
It just
working.
keeps
When they
going.
have free time, they'll like go back and work because they're like continuing something that they were doing at 7 p.m. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing
Or,
it
like,
too, but it's like
They used to sometimes some of our parents would travel and stuff for work,
Mm-hmm.
but now like everyone is online, so they can just meet whoever they needed to meet online, but in their time zone. And now you're like working in all time zones.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So We need to learn how to take breaks.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
As a
the
society,
morals.
we don't even
Yes.
we don't put enough priority on that.
I mean,
but
it's like I don't know why it's become this thing, but like people brag about how late they stay up to do work, you know?
Yeah.
Or they're like, you sometimes are at a disadvantage if you decide, if you're working, you're at a disadvantage by taking your vacation days.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like,
I feel like
honestly,
this
we don't get enough in the first place, but that's
yeah. I feel like this way that we're working and doing school constantly and putting pressure on ourselves is a reflection of how society wants us to. Like that sounds
Yeah.
very pessimistic, but when you
makes sense.
see how society's functioning now, and before the only difference was that you had travel time from home to the place you were going to do whatever you needed to and coming back, and that gave you an opportunity to say, no, I'm separating that from my life. But I feel like now people are just taking advantage. Like things did also get more convenient with being able to do things virtually, but at the same time puts a lot more pressure on us, which is just like, it's just too much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like we are slowly moving away from that mentality. Like I
hope
seeing
so.
more and more people call it out as something that's unhealthy.
Mhm.
And like you don't always have to be one-upped with your bad habits, but
and also like prioritizing mental health over your job or school.
100%. Like
definitely.
people are talking about that more because of COVID. Thank God. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe it took a global pandemic to have this
Yeah,
conversation.
right?
It sucks that this was what it took, but like my dad's office too, he came downstairs like last week I think and was like, by the way, from now on until I don't know how long, but after 2 p.m. on Friday I'm off because our company has given us like mandated break time. Like we're not allowed to really work because we've all not stopped working. So we need to give ourselves that break and spend time with family because you need a work-life balance, which I think I hope other companies start doing that. And like I'm happy to see that step in the right direction.
Yeah, I feel like we're also like super, like we're in a very privileged place to have the ability to stay home and still like get school and our parents like work in the way that they need to and stay safe. Like the combination of that and also like just having the comfort of like still being able to get groceries and everything like that while staying home is just very, I feel like, I don't want to say we've been perfect in the past at being aware of like the privilege we have, but I feel like this was like a shock to our system to realize to what extent that takes us.
For sure.
Because I think like we even talked about this in our like social media episode like way back in season 1, but we talked about having more awareness through social media of like how people are dealing with COVID in different ways, how it's affecting our lives in different ways, especially essential workers and everything. So being able to take all of that in and then comparing it to your own life and realizing what position you're in was just very, like it opened my eyes in a lot of ways, and I think it did for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Because as much as we complain about being at home, like this
the
is
fact that we're able to be at home and be complaining in itself is
like we legitimately have the best case scenarios. So like I think you can never be too grateful for that.
Yes, exactly.
We're very privileged to have the resources we have and being able to spread those resources, and it just helps us understand the gravity of the situation that we're in.
For sure.
And I think it also opened I think it also opened our eyes to like our community and the members in our community.
Yes.
And people kept throwing around the word essential workers, like essential workers still have to go to work, or they can still go to work, whichever way you want to put it. But I don't it took a while to realize how many jobs count as essential jobs and how many people are behind things we take for granted.
And they're risking their lives to be able to, like, for some people it's not a choice, and for some people the fact that they're still risking their lives in the situations that they're already in to keep us safe and to keep our economy still going.
I got an opportunity to see it firsthand when I volunteered at a testing clinic. It was so crazy to see the extent to which the healthcare workers go to protect themselves and also make sure that they're protecting their patients. And it was also really amazing to see all of my peers from my college and from other colleges come together and give back to our community. So
I actually just saw that. This is kind of random, but it kind of made me tear up. I saw this America's Got Talent video a couple days ago, and it was a group of nurses from one of the like biggest group of nurses in New York, and that was one of the like big hubs of COVID last year, like back in April and May. And a bunch of nurses came together and they created a nurse choir. And they were, before, you know how like they always do interviews, and they were all talking about how much it affected their mental health and how much, you know, like they were getting sick along with their patients and they were trying to keep their families safe. The only thing they wanted to do was go back and see their families, but for safety reasons they weren't even able to do that. And I got so emotional. I was like, it's so easy to say you appreciate them, but seeing them talk about it like that heroes.
There's always levels to it that you keep going to, you know. And it frustrates me too, because we're on one end where we acknowledge the risks, the incredible risks that these essential workers and healthcare workers are, you know, what am I trying to say?
They're taking
the risks that these essential workers and healthcare workers are taking to better us, like our health, to help us out, even if they don't personally know us. But on the other end of this spectrum, there are people that just could not care less, and it makes my blood boil, to put it lightly. It just really infuriates me because I cannot fathom how inconsiderate some people can be in this world. And I think this pandemic has really shown me who cares and who doesn't. Just
honestly, it's a testament towards how much people care versus how much people don't care, and it's just it sucks. But
it's like that thing that's like, I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people. Like that sentence is like so important because people don't have empathy.
And the number of influencers who are doing that too, I was like, I understand you're living your life, but if you have a young audience, especially, like this goes back to cancel culture. I know we reference so many things, but when you have an audience and you know that you can have an effect on that audience, and you're having 500 people parties at the peak of a pandemic, I've lost so much respect for so many people. That sounds so bad, but like, how do you live with the danger that you're putting people into, and the like risk that you're putting the healthcare workers who are now gonna have to take care of people that you put it?
I might go as far to say that it really should be who were good people and who were bad people in this world. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's like a small thing, because this pandemic is not a small thing by any means, but for someone that views like, oh, it's just it's not really affecting me here, I'm gonna party, it's not that big of a deal. Like, to me, you're a sucky person. Like, you are awful. I'll do anything I can to stop associating with you, because it's like, I'm sorry, that's just like, how
it became very clear. Like, people who are just treating it so lightly. I was like, at the root of it, we're talking about human life and keeping people safe. And yes, I understand the toll that it takes on mental health to be in this situation. Everyone has like a right to be upset in different ways, and we have to figure out how to cope with that in a new way, because this is a very new situation. I understand that, but blatantly, like recklessly putting people in danger is just not something that you can excuse.
There are things
you're
you can
literally
it's like
killing people.
Although it's your life, you have to know that you're crossing a line, and you have to, like, you have a sense of responsibility to your friends and family, and you just have to make sure you're maintaining that. And as a celebrity, you have a sense of responsibility to your fans. So.
And I don't know, it just, for me, there are things that you can avoid doing, you know, like I rarely will see a reason to have a party at the height of the pandemic, you know? Like, we all had to give up stuff that we were gonna enjoy. I'm sure we all had to give up vacations, and I know we did. And we had to give up vacations, we had to give up seeing people that we really cared about in person for a long period of time. But now that we're all at a place where like we did our part, we got vaccinated, and
Yeah.
we were careful whenever we did see each other. Like we took precautions, and we still do. Like we're still really careful compared to other people out there. It just, but we still have fun. I don't know. Like maybe we're just boring, but like we have really safe fun.
I think we have been able to like be safe in taking care of ourselves in terms of like meeting up safely so that we can take care of ourselves and having that social interaction, but also not putting each other or our families at risk. And I also think that it's very frustrating to see how sucky, to put it the nice way that Debbie said, people are.
I had other words, but
but,
we couldn't use them.
But I also think that we are in a place in society now that there was equal parts, if not more, like positive outpour from like people we look up to, or just general, like even people finding a way to make things virtual, and like the organizations I'm a part of coming up with online ways to still interact with each other and still finding ways to be safe and taking care of each other and reaching out and like figuring out who's actually there for you in a time like this. Like it was very positive to see that kind of support too.
Yeah.
I think it also helps, like, I know I did go on a slight bit of a rant, but now that I know who I can trust to, like, seeing who the people that care about others in this world, it lets me know who I can trust just kind of in life, you know? So
and
it
who
helps
shows up
me,
for you.
Yeah, so it helped me, like we mentioned this a little bit, but it helped me set those boundaries for who I want to talk to and who I don't want to talk to.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think personally for me, if I haven't gained anything from this pandemic, it's like the one thing that I've learned is that I should not feel bad for setting those boundaries for myself and being like, I just will not talk to you because you're not adding anything positive to my life anymore. In fact, you're hurting me. And
yeah, because in this case, it's like a physical health, like you're putting your health at risk, but your mental health is just as important, you know, outside the pandemic. And if someone is not giving anything positive to you and they're only bringing you down,
cut them out.
Cut them out. Exactly.
And we're learning to see that as a positive thing, which is like Amru mentioned this too. We're learning to, as a society, move to a mindset where putting yourself first is not like, yes, in some ways, you know, if you're letting go of certain friendships that you might have not seen yourself letting go of in the past, it might sting a little bit, but we're also seeing that as a positive thing because you do have to do what's best for yourself and make sure that you're like doing your best to take care of people that you like care about too. So everyone's trying to do their best, and I think that's part of that package deal.
And like that's not to say you should be narcissistic and like
only
care about you. Like,
if that wasn't
that's
clear,
definitely not what we're saying.
Like, I don't need anybody.
You need to find that
me,
balance
myself,
between...
and I.
But you need to find that balance between taking care of yourself while
balance.
also caring about others.
I saw the wheels turn Umber's mind too.
I was gonna, we need to make a compilation of every time we've said it's all about the balance.
It's all about the balance. I definitely think it was a reflective time period for all of us. And with this podcast, I think we've seen a lot of growth in each other. And also, I'm just excited for future podcast episodes.
Yeah,
just
like,
pen
that's a good
teams.
That's
Why did you have to bring that one up?
No, okay. I was gonna say that's a good thing that's come out of spending so much time at home for us out of quarantine. Is that we got to start this podcast and it's been an excuse to just like talk to each other.
Literally, it's an excuse.
I put this quote in my caption for my like reflection on junior year, like on Instagram, but it made me really happy. It was like remember the little things because one day you might look back and realize they were the big things. And that it was a perfect quote for this year because every little thing that we did ended up making the situation less crappy. Especially this like podcast, being able to still communicate like this and talk about things like this in this way, in addition to all the different things that happened throughout the school year, it made the year.
I think this definitely has kept me grounded a lot because I definitely go through life not knowing what I'm doing at any point in time. And so
Neither do we.
That's all of
so
us.
like having you guys here, well, first having the podcast here has been like, okay, this is something that I have my head on straight for this, and we have some sort of direction, because we know what we're doing to some extent, not all the time, but for the most part. But then also being able to talk to you guys and just knowing that I feel like we've referenced this in our many episodes, but mainly self-care, but having a group of people to talk to when you need someone, like when you need direction in your life and you don't know what's going on. For me personally, having someone to talk to helps. So keeping myself sane in that way is
You
really
guys are my
useful.
rock.
Yeah.
Oh,
How did we manage to
we're
make this
each
happy?
other's
We're literally
rocks.
talking about the
Yeah.
pandemic and we got some happy.
I like
couldn't
to go
help it,
back
okay.
and recount the number of times we've been like, Pen Pod! Friends!
Oh.
Yay! We're together forever!
Let's make
Oh
a
my
compilation of
God.
that too.
Yes.
Let's not.
Well,
I think I
guys,
would cringe.
That's just the whole podcast.
basically.
I'm just glad that we learned how to prioritize ourselves in a new way, while also making sure that we're reaching out to people and just focusing
Kept each other sane during this pandemic.
Yeah.
and just like making
At
sure that
home.
each other was okay, and we created a new way to care about each other. And because the feeling of checking up on each other and prioritizing ourselves is something that's going to last even when this stupid pandemic is over. So being just the fact that we learned all of that, and we're going to carry that with us and make sure that we're always close and making sure that we're taking care of each other is just
Yeah.
We got to
Yay.
remember what was truly important in our lives.
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, guys, with that beautiful sentiment, we should probably wrap it up here.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We really hoped you liked this episode. While we are seeing an end in sight, please make sure that you're still staying cautious and taking all the precautions possible to keep yourself and others around you safe and healthy.
And if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to hear us talk about next, or if you have any questions or just want to reach out to us, feel free to leave us a comment, send us a message, email us, anything. All of our information is going to be in the bio.
Also, check out our TikTok and YouTube if you want some more Pen Pod content.
Oh, yeah.
As Shanini said, all the links will be in pretty much all our social media bios. We hope you have a great rest of your day and week.
Thank you guys so much for listening. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.